Hey, this is John Fernay, the co-host of the Maryland Crabs, and I am here today with a Maryland Crabcake for your listening pleasure. What's a crabcake? It's not quite a full episode, it's just a little snippet. Stay tuned and check it out. And make sure you check us out on themarylandcrabs.com. You can follow us on Twitter at MD Crabs Podcast or find us on Facebook at the Maryland Crabs Podcast. And don't forget, subscribe, rate us, iTunes. Go there now. Hey there, just a really quick crab cake. Dennis Quaid is renowned for his film work over the past 40 years, but did you know that he's also a musician? He and his band, Dennis Quaid and the Sharks, are currently on a national tour, and they are going to be here at the Ram's Head on stage tomorrow night, July 16th, for one show. Doors open at 7 p.m. The show is at 8 p.m. Tickets are still available, and we had a chance to talk to Dennis for just a few minutes while he's between gigs. Joining us now is none other than Dennis Quaid, who took a break off of tour. Dennis, thank you for joining us.
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. I'll tell you, let's just get right into it. If you don't mind, let me start with the easy question first. Which came first, the music or the acting?
Well, I guess it would be music, really, because I grew up in Texas, and so my first musical memories are country music and Elvis. But the Beatles hit, and that changed everything for my generation. And I think if I want, I think it would be music because it's so immediate.
It's got to be tough to balance the two careers. How do you do it?
Well, somehow it all works out, and the great thing about most of acting and most of the great things are being done in television these days. It's like a golden age of TV. Everybody in movies is running there because that's where it's at. And what's good about that is it's more scheduled, and so I'm able to balance my schedule with music and film or television a lot easier.
All right, let me shift gears a little bit. Dennis Quaid and the Sharks. How did the band come together?
Actually, we found each other. I went to a little club here in L.A. Harry Dean Stanton was playing, and it was also another actor, a really great actor who just passed a week ago at the age of 91, and I went to see him, and three of the members who are now in the Sharks were playing with him that night, and I got up and I did Gloria and Not Fade Away, and we just started it up from there, and it's been going for 17 years.
If we were doing this 20 years ago, I'd say, hey, is it available in record stores? But obviously that's not the case anymore. Where can we get your music? Is it available for download now?
Well, we've just been in the studio for the last 3 months. We cut 19 tracks, and that'll be reflected in our show. About, I'd say 75% of our show is originals, and the other 25 would be music that we just grew up loving. And the Sharks are the kind of band that we get people up, and having a good time, and we guarantee you a good time or your money back.
Okay, I want to shift gears one more time. Many of your roles, might argue most of your roles, are musical. For example, The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia, Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, in fact, that was my first musical movie. I actually wrote 2 songs for that soundtrack that I got on, and had a chance to meet Cowboy Jack Elliott, who showed up on the set there. I don't know if your listeners know who Cowboy Jack Elliott was, but he was the original engineer at Sun Studios with Elvis and Jerry Lee. Also the producer of Waylon Jennings albums back in the 70s and 80s, and he just showed up and kind of took me under his wing, and he was a great fella.
Okay, we know you're coming to Ram's Head on stage tomorrow night. What else do you have in your hopper?
Well, I'm currently going to do a 3rd season of a series on Amazon called Fortitude. over in we shot it in Iceland last year, and now we're going to be shooting it way up in the Arctic Circle, about 800 miles north of Iceland. So it's going to be pretty breezy. I bet. And I got about 3 movies. There's a Christian-based film that I did called I Can Only Imagine, and then I play a bad guy in a film called Motivated Seller, who's the character is sort of like the Parent Trap dad gone bad.
I'll tell you what, I don't want to take any more of your time. I really appreciate you taking the time off the tour just to give me a call for a few minutes. We look forward to seeing you at the Ram's Head tomorrow night.
Take care.
Folks, and there you have it. Dennis Quaid with Dennis Quaid and the Sharks. Tickets are still available at ramsheadonstage.com. There's one show tomorrow night. Doors open at 7. Show is at 8.
This has been the Maryland Crabs podcast with Tim Hamilton and John Fernay. Sure to follow them at all the regular places, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and online at themarylandcrabs.com. Take a moment to rate us on iTunes. Now, get the hell out of my kitchen. Seriously, go!
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.